Hi everyone, I'm Jake. I'm your resident content cowboy. Yeehaw! And today I wanted to make a tier list for auto chess. I love me some auto chess, and I want to go through the synergies right now, the class and race synergies, and talk about my personal tier list. There's no question that not all of this is correct. It's just my personal preference from playing this game. Hopefully I'll give you some insights, especially if you're a newer player. I say that on a lot of my videos, but it's because if you're looking for top level pro stuff, I am not a top level pro. However, if you're newer to the game, I definitely think a lot of this could be beneficial. Also, tier lists are just fun. I love them, and I mean, look, there's going to be stuff you agree with and stuff you really disagree with. So let me know in the comments what you think. I would love to hear how wrong you think I got a lot of this. And I'm doing this on the fly, so it's very possible upon further inspection, I will think, oh yeah, I was really off about that. And of course, notice the day I put this up, because there might be a new patch already and I'm so off on all of these. But let's start. Also, this is unfortunate, but I can't find any tier maker that has all of the icons correct. So I will go through every class and race in the game, but some of them are not on this list, so I will probably talk about those at the end. I think that's the way that makes the most sense. Let's get into making a tier list. Whew, here we go. We've got our list here from S+ all the way down to F. Well, you know what? I don't know where any of this is going to fall right now. Let's figure it out. Let's start here with Warlock. Okay, we've got Warlock. I'm just going to plop it down on the list right now, and then I'll talk about it, and we'll figure out a place for it to go. Warlock is an interesting class because you only need 2 Warlocks to start its synergy. And I actually think as Warlock progresses, it gets worse in sort of the meta and being competitive. So 6 Warlock isn't that useful, but if you can pair a 2 Warlock, which I love to do with, a Glacial Knight build, if you happen to be going Spirit, it's an easy pair. I feel like Goblin, it's an easy pair. There are a lot of good ins to get that first level of synergy from Warlock. So it's weird. Where do you put something like that? My first thought is it's not enough on its own to be a build. You can do a 6 Warlock build, but it's not super competitive. But in the same respect, it's really good as a little pairing. It just gives all of your units lifesteal on their attacks and their abilities. I really, really love it, especially when you get, a unit like a Dark Spirit to complete that synergy later in the game. I think it's really good. It can't stand on its own, even though it does have a few of my favorite units. It's probably one of my favorite synergies, actually. I will say, utility-wise, it's great. It's a great little add-on. It can't stand on its own. And because of that, I will say it's a B tier. Ooh, I might even think it's like an A tier in some ways. Again, on its own, I feel like it's like a F tier, D tier, E tier, F tier. But paired, I think it's really, really useful, and it's super easy to get. Right now, I think I'll leave it at B. We'll think about it. Maybe it moves. Maybe some of these move. I don't know. Here we go. Assassin. Assassin is the next class we're going to be looking at. I'll just put it right down here on C for now. Assassin. Well, I feel like Assassins, depending on the patch, this is true of everything, but I remember playing at one point where it felt like Assassins were really, really powerful. And then right now, I don't think they're that good. There are some good Assassin combinations, but Assassins are an interesting synergy. Let me actually read the exact way Assassins goes here really quick. So for 3 Assassins, all your Assassins get a 15% chance to deal 300% damage. So once you get 3, the synergy activates, and they can all do a ton of damage with their attacks. But it's only a 15% chance. However, their first attack, so that first time they leap across the battlefield and hit someone, they have a 50% chance to do that. I feel like Assassins really takes off once they hit 6 Assassins, because the first attack has a 100% chance to do 350% damage. 6 Assassin is where it really takes off. 9 Assassin, I feel like, is unnecessary. Not that you can't have a round where 9 Assassins kills everybody, don't get me wrong. You can have rounds where crazy things happen and lots of different builds win. Not really high tier. High tier has one build, and that's Warpwood Sage. But I feel like Assassin is good to a point, but pretty situated. They're really not my favorite. I really don't like building Assassins. They're not my favorite. Me personally, it kind of reminds me of Warlock a bit, but they do get much. So, like the mid-tier Assassin, 6 Assassin, that's where it's at. Really good. Like, like a 6 Assassin, 3 Feathered, something like that. That's where I feel like it really, really shines. But right now, I kind of don't hate it at C tier. I'll move it to B tier. I think I'm being too kind. It's not one of my favorites. I think it just gets... There are a few builds that just kind of almost negate its whole ability, if you have like a beefy goblin or a knight build, they don't care at all about what these assassins are doing, and I don't know. It's B or C for me right now. I even might move it to C. I'm moving it to C. It's not my favorite. It's a C for me. Sorry. I know. Sorry. I'm sure there are people sitting there going, you are so freaking wrong about this. I don't know why. I'm kind of loving this right now, and I'm loving that some people are going to not like my list. Okay. Next class that we're going to be taking a look at, Warrior. Warrior is an interesting class, okay? I'll put it at C just to start. Warrior is interesting, and I'll pull it up too so I can just read exactly what it says. 3 warriors get you +6 armor. All your warriors do. Let me be very specific. And the same thing for the last assassins. 6 warriors get all of your warriors 12 armor, +12 armor. And 9 warriors get all your warriors 15 armor. Plus, when they receive physical or magical damage, they reflect pure damage equal to the value of the recipient's armor. So, this is why 9 warrior is so brutal in the meta. It's, again, not the... I want to get this out of the way right now. I can't only talk about what is the top meta right now, which is mainly, from all the stuff I see, it's mainly just that Divine Warpwood Sage sort of mage build that transitions Shaman sometimes, transitions a few things, but I feel like that's mainly what people are fighting for in the meta. So right now I'm talking about, I think, not just the hyper competitive tier, but what can win a lot of rounds if you're playing regular, ranked, casual, stuff like that. 9 warriors, very good. 9 warriors, very good, and warriors are really good early. It's just a really good early building block. I feel like right in the middle there, they're not the best. Between your early 3 and your late 9, the 6 warrior isn't the strongest thing. And the tough thing about 9 warrior is it's either you're 9 warrior or you're not warrior late game. You can't have 6 warrior late game. It's just, what's the point, It's either go 9 warrior or start dropping your warriors and go for another synergy that's a little more useful for you in that moment. I think 9 warrior is super strong, super competitive, especially you get, like a couple of the glacial warriors. You get the Berserker and the Sacred Lancer. Now you've got warrior glacial, and you've got one more unit you can throw in there, probably a beast or something like that. Cave Clan, not really. Oh, you could do marine. So, in fact, marine's pretty good. Give you that magic resistance. I think warrior's really good. I think 9 warrior is really good, and I think 3 warrior early on is really good. It's hard to go wrong with it. They're just, good. They're good. They're definitely better than these others I've talked about. Right now, I'm moving them A tier. Yeah, I think they're an A. I think right now they're A tier. 9 warrior, I think, is just... You'll at least do pretty darn good going 9 warrior. You will. You know, as long as you're around long enough, you'll do pretty good going 9 warrior. So I'm putting them A. I think that's a reasonable place for them. I could see the argument for them being B. The only thing about them is you can't really do a lot of fun stuff. You can't transition super well to block your opponent from whatever they're doing. So there are some downsides to warrior, but right now I'm calling them A tier. That's what I think. Let's go on to the next one. Knights. Ooh, Knights. Knights are interesting. Knights have a lot of pairs that work really well with them, too. They have Dragon Knight. They have Glacial Knight. So let's talk about Knights. Knights give you this ability. It's either 2 Knights, 4 Knights, or 6 Knights. When you have 2, you gain a 25% chance every 2 seconds to obtain a shield, which gives you magic resistance of 75%, 25 armor, and 10 HP regen per second. The chance is 100% at the beginning of the round. So you just, every knight gets the shield at the beginning of the round, and then every 2 seconds, basically, the longer the round goes on, the higher chance you have of continually getting this shield that gives you HP regen and it gives you armor. They're just good. They're just damn good tanks. They're really, really strong. Glacial Knight is such an the thing about Knights, I feel like it's so easy to build them. You know, in some ways I feel like it's almost easier than Warriors. I know that sounds weird because Warriors is like the starting unit you get oftentimes, but I just feel like it's so easy to build Knights. They have good combinations. They work well in so many situations. Once you get 6 Knights, they have a 65% chance to obtain that shield, and it has 30 HP regen. 4 Knights, even 2 Knights are pretty useful, and they have a lot of good units inside there. Hell Knight is so good early on. Lightblade Knight is a great carry. There are a lot of builds around sort of like a Human Knight, Avenge Knight build. I love Evil Knight is a great knight. They synergize pretty well with lots of things. I think Knights are great. I think Knights are freaking great. I'm trying to decide right now if Knights are S tier or A tier. I think they're really, really good. Really good. And they have easy builds. Where do I put you, Knights? I might move you. They're at least A. They're at least A in my opinion. I don't think you can say that they're not one of the best in the game. They even have like high meta strategies with like people who are doing like Human Knights, Avenge Knights sort of things. I'm going to put them A. I think I might even move them to S. Screw it. We're going wild. They're S tier right now. That might change. We'll see. Witcher. Ooh, Witcher 3. Here we go. Let's pull up Witcher here. Although I remember it, but because it's really basic. If you have 1 Witcher on the board, basically, you negate your opponent's demons. And if you have 2 Witchers on the board, you yourself can build a demon build. So I'll read the exact verbiage. If there's any demon pieces on the enemy chessboard, the enemy demon types will be increased by 1, which basically means that their demon synergy won't work unless they also have 2 Witchers. Once you have 2 Witchers, if there's any demon pieces on the enemy chessboard, the enemy demon types will be increased by 1, and it also views all ally demons as 1 type. So this means that you can have 5, 6 demons out, and you don't lose the demon bonus, which we can talk about in a little bit. Witcher is so situational, and I feel like demons, they're pretty, like, I love having a Hell Knight early on if I don't have a good synergy going on. Hell Knight's like such a good early unit. Doom is such a great unit that can just hop into a ton of different builds for a little while because he's so powerful getting that demon synergy. So it's kind of cool canceling your opponent's demon synergy. And it is cool having a demon build, but I feel like it's so situational. It's not canceling your opponent's demon is hit or miss. They might not even have one. It's not that useful. If they're going a full demon build, it's irrelevant. I don't think that this is a very viable... It's not a class that you really think of as like, oh man, he's got Witchers. So, I don't even know what E tier is. I don't even know why I have E tier. I feel like Witchers maybe... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I'll put it E tier instead of F tier. I kind of feel bad just putting it in F tier. I don't even know why. It's a class of units. Who cares, Jake? But I don't know. As a class, whatever. Who cares? It's really like, who cares? Who cares about which? Nobody cares. You never look at your opponent's board and you're like, oh no, they have Witchers. Let's move on to the next one. Shaman. So Shaman, I feel like, is extremely situational, but you see it in high tier play when you're trying to counter certain builds. When you have 2 Shaman at the start of the battle, you hex a random enemy into a penguin for 6 seconds. It's good. 6 seconds is a long time in auto chess, so that's good. When you have 4 Shaman, this is really how you sort of break your opponent's ridiculous strategy sometimes. At the start of the battle, it hexes a random enemy into a penguin, and all Shamans get a buff. When killed by an enemy piece, it hexes the enemy into a random chess piece of the same cost and the same star level. This can mess with your opponent's builds. If they have a few units that are really winning them the day and you hex them into something that isn't very good, I've seen that be very, very useful. I also feel like they're insanely situational. Insanely. And I don't like a lot of the Shaman units. Like, who are we even thinking of? There's Defector, which is that Glacial Shaman. I kind of want to see... I wish I could show you guys this too, but who else are the Shamans that are even any good? I don't think they're very good. Let's see. I know there's the Cave Clan one. Oh, well, Siren, or excuse me, the Scryer is a really great unit. Yeah, 2 of them are 5-star, and yeah, the other one's that Cave Clan. I don't know. I don't like Shaman. I don't think they're not something I think about when I think of like a great synergy, but I think situationally they're really, really good. I might say I'm putting it down here with Witcher. You know what? I'm moving Witcher to F at this point because I think Shaman's a little better. Oh, okay. Feel bad, but I just don't think it's very good. Let's talk about Hunters. Hunters. Now, Hunters is weird. I don't like Hunters. I'll just put that out there right now. I don't like a Hunter build. I don't like it. I'm not saying they're bad. I don't like playing it. It's not fun for me playing Hunters, really. For whatever reason. I'm sure everyone has their preferences. I'm sure there are some people that love Hunters. Me, I don't love Hunters. So Hunters, the way they work, when you have 3 of them, all your allied Hunters gain plus 25 attack, and they have a 50% chance not to miss. I guess that's just to like make it so a feathered build doesn't completely counter them. And if you get 6 Hunters, they get plus 85 attack and a 65% chance not to miss. I actually think 3 Hunters is pretty darn good. You don't need 6 Hunters. Of course, having them, great. It really makes your build work. If that's like you're going like a feathered hunter or I always say egress, but it's not egress. It's like Egersis. So Hunters, I don't love it. It's not what I like to build. I mean, if they're feeding them to me, there are a few really good Hunters, by the way. And there are also a bunch of Hunters I don't like at all. I feel like Hunters, it's really falling in this level with Assassins for me right now, where I go, if it feels like the game is pushing me in that direction or I want to play it, cool. I don't like Hunters that much, but they're not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I don't have a lot of fun with them, and I don't feel like I run into a ton of situations where I'm worried about enemy Hunters. Part of what I'm trying to think of here is, if I see a build that is one of these things, am I worried or do I not care? Is it super relevant, not super relevant? I almost never see a Hunter build winning the game. It's not that it doesn't happen. It's just I don't really see it too often where they make it all the way to the end and win. I'm fine keeping them right there at C. I don't love Hunters. They're not for me. Sorry if you love Hunters, but they are not for this boy. Let's talk about our next one here. Let's talk about Mech. Mech's weird. Mech's just part of Goblin. I feel like Mech and Goblin go hand in hand. So Mech, if you have 3 Mech, which you can get very, very early, and you win a round, you get a Heart of Mech. And a Heart of Mech lets you roll or refresh your units for free one time. It's a consumable item that lets you do that. Man, if you're on a winning streak early with Mech, you're just gonna crush everyone when you're ready to start rolling and looking for the units you need. It's free money. I mean, 6 Mech, here's the thing about Mech. I think 3 Mech is amazing, and I think 6 Mech is insanely situational. But if you get it, I mean, it's awesome. However, I mean, I almost always have Mech just because I'm building Goblin, and it's, they're great for when you're building up through Goblin and you get all those hearts of Mech. A gold heart of Mech, by the way, if you haven't got one before, if you haven't had 6 Mech, gold hearts of Mech, when you roll, the entire board is 5 cost units. So that's how you get your 3-star Devastators, your 3-star Gyrocopters, your 3-star whoever that's like a 5-star unit, a 5 cost unit. I think 3 Mech is so ridiculously good. This is at least A tier. Now, it's not that the thing that's stopping this from being S tier for me, and might not get down to B tier, is that I don't think 6 Mech is that viable and useful. It's very specific. But 3 Mech is so good. I think I'm keeping it at A tier right now. I think it's just so good when you get those hearts of Mech. I mean, I think so much about economy when I'm playing this game. So when you start to get things that give you free money and free, I mean, it's one of, there are only 2 resources I think about while I'm playing this game, and it's your life and your economy, your money. And you have to manage both of them. So you always want a bunch of money because it gives you more interest. And when you just have something that gives you free money, I think it's so good. So I'm keeping Mech at A tier. I think Mech's really, really good. Let's talk about our next class, Mage. Woo, Mage. Mage goes like on and off from being really, really good. And I think right now it's kind of on because it works with some of the top tier strategies. When you have 3 mages, the enemy loses 45% magic resistance. When you have 6 mages, they lose 95% of magic resistance. And when you have 9 mages, which I don't think is a very good build, the enemy loses 130% magic resistance. Basically, I mean, 3 mage is good and 6 mage is usually kind of about the sweet spot. If you can get it, you're taking a ton of magic resistance away from your enemy. But even 3 mage is just really, really useful. So right now, I think Mage is super strong, especially because they're comboing with like top tier meta builds. I don't think 9 Mage is that useful. It's 3 or 6 Mage is very, very useful. You get the Tortola Elder and the Thunder Spirit, and you get the Source, which is like one of my favorite units. I think 6 Mage is really good. 3 Mage is very useful. 9 Mage not so useful. This is paired with something top in the meta right now. I'm also going to say I could see someone making an argument that it's S right now. I'm going to say it's at least A tier right now. And this could all change every patch, which is kind of what's exciting about games like this. Every patch, something like this could change, and you could go, oh, they nerfed mages, they suck, or oh, wow, they nerfed, like, knights are in a bad place right now, and all of a sudden the new meta is, hunters, the new meta is assassins. But right now I think mages are very legit. They're not the best. I could almost see them being a B. Do I keep them at A? I don't know. Maybe I'll come back to it. Maybe I won't. Let's move on to our next class here. Let's see if I can find it easily on this thing. Where are you, you silly druids? This is great. For people who play auto chess on PS4, PS5, just me scrolling through units, it crashed. It literally crashed while I was doing it. It crashes, guys. It crashes so much. Let's talk about druids. I won't need it up just to tell you what the deal is with druids. So druids are, I really love them for especially new players because it kind of takes some of the stress away from like trying to build everything correctly. You level up units very easily. When you have 2 druids, you only need 2 units to star to a 2-star unit. So if you have 2 unicorns, they become a 2-star unicorn rather than needing 3 unicorns. Same for all 4 of the units. The Warpwood Sage, I can't even remember his name right now. Let's head back to the chess pieces. The Warpwood Sage, that little summoner guy, the Whisper Seer. You've got the 4-star dude, which is, what's his name? The Razor Claw. And then you've got the unicorn. So you've got 4 units. If you have 2, the upgrade to 2-star only takes 2 units. If you have all 4 units, and you don't even need them all on the board, 2 of them can be on your bench, which is like one of the really cool parts about this synergy as well. If you have if you have all 4, so you get that second level of synergy, you can get a 3-star unit by having 2 2-star units rather than 3 2-star units. So they're the easiest group of units to get 3-star units with. If you're playing a druid build, you're going to have 3-star druids by the end of it's like kind of impossible not to. And that's why they're so powerful, especially for newer players. They also happen to have sort of like the best combo. One of them is part of the best combo in the game right now. Warpwood Sage is just a really great unit. I don't love all of the other ones. They have good parts about them. 2 of them are beasts, so there's like a little synergy right there as well. And then 2 of them are feathered, so you can kind of move into like a feathered druid build, like a beast druid build. I think druids are pretty good. They're not one of the top builds in my mind, but they're so good for newer players. And I actually really love druid. It was kind of one of the first sets of units where I thought, oh, okay, I can figure this game out. Using this build, I can beat a lot of people. So I'm going to put them B tier. I don't think they're A. They're definitely not the best, but they're really, really good. And one of the units inside druids is part of the best build in the game right now, and they're great for new players. I would highly recommend a 9-warrior druid Glacial Knight. Those are easy builds for new players, and I think they're really, really good. So that's where I leave druid at. I don't have little symbols for some of the other classes. I think I've gone through all the classes I have symbols for, and since I don't want to make this board confusing just yet, I will not yet be talking about Dwarf, Insectoid, Panda, Priest, Wizard, Martialist. Those are the ones I can't talk about yet. The classes I think are what? Wizard, Martialist, Priest. Yeah. So let's move on over to some of the races in the game. Let's start with Dragon. Here we are, the Dragon race. Dragon's weird. Dragon, I don't love Dragon. They're a good it's like dragons. The whole point of dragons, I'll read you exactly what they do, but I'll tell you kind of my take on dragons. If you have 3 dragons at the start of the battle, 3 allied dragons, specifically the dragons, have 100 mana. When there are more than 3 allied dragons, those deployed on the relative left will get the effects in priority. And then when you have 5 dragons, at the start of the battle, 6 allies get 100 mana. So not necessarily the dragons. When there are more than 6 allies on the chessboard, those deployed on the relative left will get the effects in priority. So really what the dragon synergy is there for, in my opinion, is to power up Dragon Knight. Who else does it power? Oh, power up Umbra. It doesn't really matter if Winter Charlatan or whatever. Oh, Winter... I always call him Winter Charlatan. Winter Chiropteran? I don't even know what that is. I'm going to call it Winter Charlatan, even though it's not even close. Isn't it funny when you start saying something wrong forever, and then you're like, that's what it is. I don't need to figure it out anymore. Of the dragons, I feel like only a few of them are like really, really good, but the ones that are good can get pretty darn good. Like Dragon Knight with a knight build, it's pretty legit. Umbra's decent because it has that Egerisis or however you say it. It's also a hunter, so it works good with a hunter build. Dragon. I don't like dragon that much. You can hear it in my voice. Also their legendary dragon I think sucks. I think Frostblaze dragon is not very good. I've seen good players use it to some success, but I just don't like it. I don't like the way it works. I think it's a little, it's so hit and miss. It doesn't compare to, you know, other five cost units for me, like Devastator and Dark Spirit and Zeus and lots of them. So dragons. Where do I go with you, dragons? I kind of don't mind you at C tier. I mean, this is where I feel like a lot of these things are hanging out for me. They're good with like one specific build, sort of like a dragon knight. You can even go like human dragon knight. I don't like them very much. I don't like Viper or whatever his name is, the assassin. What's his name? I don't remember every one of these characters' names all the time, especially ones I don't use. Venom. Sorry, Venom. I don't like a lot of dragons, and you're seeing it. I'll keep it at C. I don't like you very much. Do I move you to D? Ha! No, because they're not bad. They're just not, I don't know. I don't like them. I don't love them. Love it or hate it, dragons are staying at C. Let's talk about Cave Clan. Cave Clan is a synergy that's pretty good early on, and then late game you're kind of specifically building Cave Clan if you want to maximize the synergy. Cave Clan, if you have 2 Cave Clan, all allies get 150 HP. If you have 4 Cave Clan, all allies get 400 HP. And then if you have 6 Cave Clan, all allies get 450 HP plus that HP is boosted by 900 times the percentage of the chess player's missing HP. So the more HP you've lost throughout the match, the more HP your units are going to have. That's just the basic thought behind it. The math of it, I have no time to do. But, you know, you're losing life, and your units are getting stronger. So it's pretty cool, and it's fun to build Cave Clan. It is a fun synergy to build. I think it's really strong early on, especially because it's easy. Like, are 3 of them warriors or 2 of them are warriors, right? Yeah, 2 are warriors. So you can have Cave Clan warrior really early on. Everyone's got armor. They all have extra health. It's pretty good. It's not hard to get 4 of them. I feel like mid-game it falls off, and you start to go, I can't keep these people around because I need to go somewhere else with my build. But if you're going like 9 warrior, I bet you could have 4 Cave Clan around for a while until they need to drop for some other units that are more important. Late game, I mean, it's fun to build, but I don't even think it's that good. What do I say about it? I think it's really good early on and not so good later. And I feel like it's just so not that useful to build late game. It becomes like 450 HP is not that much as the round goes on. Does it stay at C or does it go to D? You can hear the way I'm talking. Like, I want to move it to D. It's pretty bad, but it's good early. It is really good early. They have Swordman, who's really good. I'm gonna keep it at C. It's not terrible. It's good, but it's not my favorite. Let's talk about Goblin. Okay, let me read you a little bit about Goblin. Goblin, when you have 3 of them, a random ally on your team gets plus 15 armor and 20 HP regen. It's huge. It's a huge amount. And if it gets plopped on the right unit, if it gets put on your unit that has all its items on it, especially early game, you have one unit that's just kind of killing the whole enemy team and stays alive. And then sometimes, since it's random, it gets put on a unit and it's not that useful. Once you get 6 Goblin, which is a later game thing because a few of the Goblins you need are 4 cost and 5 cost. Once you get 6 Goblin, every single ally on the team gets 15 armor and 20 HP regen. It's so good. It's so freaking good once you get it. Anyone who's on the board too. So you got your 6 Goblins out there. 4 other units are also taking advantage of this ability. You know, they easily pair with a Warlock, so then everyone gets, you know, life steal as well, so everyone's regenerating life. They all have armor. They all get life steal. I love Goblin. There's no question. If you've watched some of my videos, I think Goblin is S tier. My favorite build is Goblin. I think they're so good. They have this mid-game dip that you need to get past until you get your 6th Goblin. But then once you get your 6th Goblin, you're pretty set for a while. You really are. Especially, I mean, Venomancer is just so strong. Devastator's so good. You can go 6 mech if you want, you know, especially using wizards to get there. I just love Goblin. I love it. You're S tier for me, Goblins. I love you so much. Let's talk about demons, baby. Demons. I'll read it to you, but it's basically just that all your attacks get plus 50% pure damage. Attacks deal 50% extra pure damage to the target. Activates when only one kind of ally demon's on the chessboard. So, this is what I think makes Hell Knight really good early on, because Hell Knight just does an insane amount of extra damage. To use them effectively, if you want multiple demons, you also have to build these little guys, these Witchers right here, who I've said are F tier. Now, when you're talking about Witchers, demons together, Witcher is no longer F tier. If you're building demons, you have to have Witcher. But demons, I feel like I don't want too many things to hang around C tier, because I feel like I'm just not making strong enough choices when I say that. I feel like demons are so good early, almost useless later. But there are some good late demons too, like Doom and is it Rogue Guard? No, I can't even remember. They're really good. How could I say demons are D tier if I said Cave Clan is C tier? I mean, Jake, are we making bold moves here, or are we cowards? We're not cowards. Cave Clan, demons, D tier. How did that happen? How did it happen? I mean, people are going to be talking about that move for years. I don't know. Demons are really situational. There are a lot of good demons. It's good to have a demon on your board a lot of the time. Building full demons, I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. That's where I'm putting demons for now. Beast synergy. Beast is a cool synergy because it combos with a few builds pretty decently. It works well with the Druid build. You know, there's like a couple Beast Assassins that work pretty well. Beast Warrior. You know, it feels like Beast is part of like a lot of good building blocks. It gives, if you have 2 Beasts, all allies get plus 15% attack, including summons. If you have 4 Beasts, you get plus 30% attack. If you have 6 Beasts, all allies get 30% attack, including the summons. And the enemy takes an additional 18 physical damage when attacked by an ally who benefits from the Beast synergy. So, this is, you know, a full Beast build is definitely not top meta or anything like that. But, you know, going Druid, Beasts, you know, you get 6 Beasts, 2 of them are already Druids. You probably, you know, pop a few Feathers in there, or a couple Warriors. You could easily throw a Warlock in there to get that lifesteal. They become pretty brutal at 6 Beasts. Again, not top tier, but they become pretty brutal at 6 Beasts. And I feel like they're part of good building blocks as you move up. So I'm going to say Beast is B tier. Unlike units like Assassins, Hunters, Dragons, I feel like they're not insanely good building blocks. I mean, they are at times. Hunters is like a decent building block if you have, you know, like a Dwarf Sniper and a couple of those Feathered Hunters. They're pretty good. But I think Beast is decent on its own in like average level play, not high tier play, but decent on its own if you want to go 6 Beast and combo it with things. And they're a really good building block. So I put Beast on at B tier. They're not the best. That's definitely personal preference. Let's talk about Glacier. Yeah. Let me pull up Glacier so I'll read it to you. It's really easy. 2 Glaciers gives all allies 20% attack speed. 4 Glaciers gives all allies 50% attack speed. 6 Glaciers give all allies 90% attack speed. You usually don't build 6 Glacier. I mean, there are builds that work with 6 Glacier, but usually you'll have 2 or 4 Glacier. They're a really great building block too. So as I'm just building through the game, there might be times where I have 2 Glacier on the board, and it's just because it gives all my allies more attack speed. Glacial Knights also very, very good. Glacial, if you go 9 warrior and you grab 2 of the glacials, that's like just a nice little bonus. The thing I like about glacial is it's easy to pair with things. You can have it in for a little while and maybe later it's not part of your build, but in a lot of moments, giving all of your allies more attack speed, it's really, really beneficial. I'm gonna say it's a really good, useful pairing with a lot of things, and I'm also putting it B tier. You could see kind of where my brain's at with some of this, where if you pair well with things, clearly I'm thinking you're like a B tier. Let's talk about humans. Humans, if you've got, 3 and 6, right? Let me pull it really quick just so I don't say something incorrect here. Yeah, if you have 3 humans, you get a book of experience if you win and a human stays alive. If you have 6 humans, you get 4 books of experience if you win and a human stays alive. This is how you get to level 12. This is how you push past the level 10 level cap. It's pretty useful if you're doing, humans kind of, you could do like a human mage a little bit. Human knight works with getting enough humans on the board to push that level cap. And there are a lot of good human units, so it's weird because I don't think about humans that much. I sound like Dr. Manhattan right now. I feel like I think it's a good build if it's exactly what you're going for, and otherwise it's just like a nice little bonus. I like humans. I don't love them. I don't think about them a ton. I'm keeping them C tier. Maybe even D tier. It's weird. None of these things are bad. It's good having synergies, but it's like you've got to very specifically be going down the human path to really get benefit from having it. Otherwise, you get some experience books, and you might hold them or you might use them to push yourself to level 10 when you know you're not going up to, a level 10 plus build. I'm going to keep them at C for now. Keeping them at C. Kira. Let's talk about Kira. Kira is only 2 characters have it, and you need both of them to complete the synergy. What Kira does is, if any melee ally dies, it increases your max HP by 20% and the attack by 20% for all allied Kiras. And it can be stacked 7 times. It's insanely specific. You have to be building for it. You're not going to use it. It doesn't... I could see you putting it, having an Ogre Mage out there with your Venomancer, just so when allies die, your Venomancer gets like powered up more and more and more. It's not terrible, but I feel like you have to be building very specifically for Kira to work. If you are, it can work. Don't get me wrong, but it's so specific, so specific. I'm putting it F tier. It's not bad if it's your plan, but it's just so specific. I like synergies that gives me some room to work. I feel like there's no room to work here. Let's talk feathered. Feathered, okay, here we go. I'll pull it up. When you have 3 feathered units, all feathered allies have a 20% chance to evade attacks. It's useful. I mean, people don't hit you. When you have 6 feathered units, all allied feathers have a 40% chance to evade attacks, and your other allies now have a 20% chance to evade attacks. Most feathered builds I've seen have you hang out at 6 feathered. You don't usually push towards 9 feathered, which is a 65% chance to evade attacks, and allies have a 42% chance to evade attacks. I feel like 6 feathered is the sweet spot for the feathered synergy. It's also not my favorite. I don't love feathered. It combos with a few things pretty well. There's feathered assassin, feathered druid. I don't love it. I'm not saying it's bad. There are good builds with it, but I don't love it personally. I'm putting it D. I don't like it. I think it's weak for a while, And then it does get pretty good, but still mages are hitting you. Let's say you go up against mages. Your evasion doesn't matter. Let's say you're going up against goblins and they have a devastator and they've got the little guy who shoots rockets. I mean, there's just a lot of situations where magic damage is going to hit you. It can be pretty good. And again, I think 6 feathered is the sweet spot. I could see this being moved to C tier, but me personally, I don't love it. I'm calling it D tier. That's what I'm doing. God, I'm controversial today. Marine. Let's talk about Marine. Marine's interesting. The thing I think is good about Marine is it's easy to get. But it's not the backbone, even though it is a fishbone, but it's not the backbone of any build. You know, you're never like, once I get my 4 Marines, we turn on. Because all it is magic resistance. When you have 2 Marines, all allies get 30% magic resistance. When you have 4 Marines, all allies get 60% magic resistance. It's good, and I feel like it's a nice pairing with certain builds where I go, oh yeah, I'll grab, an Abyssal Guard, or I'll grab the other one, the Tsunami Stalker or the Siren, whichever one I don't have as part of my Hunter build. And then we get that magic resistance. So sometimes with 9 Warrior, I'll have 9 Warriors and my 10th unit will be a Marine. That way I can, get that magic resistance because they could really use it. I think it's good because it pairs well, and I think it's bad because it's not, again, the heart of any build, but it's good pairing. I'm fine keeping it at C. Yeah, I'm fine keeping it at C. It's just a good pairing, but I don't think it's a great pairing. It's good. It's helpful. Magic resistance is helpful, but, you go up against an assassin build. Who cares about your magic resistance? Same with a hunter build. Kind of the same with, Knights, Dragon Knight, Glacial Knight. I can almost see it being D tier in some ways. Huh. I guess I don't like it that much now that I'm talking about it out loud. I'm moving it to D. Let's see. Spirit, right? That's what this one's called. I never know what it's called because I never specifically build it. Spirit. Okay. Oh, yeah, and all the units are called Stone Spirit, Thunder Spirit, etc. Spirit, once you have 2 of them, all your allied spirits have a 35% chance to petrify the attacker if someone's attacking you under melee attacks for 3.5 seconds. Pretty dope if it happens. If you have 4 of them, all allies gain a 35% chance to petrify the attacker. Again, melee attacks for 3.5 seconds. So if you get 4 spirit, you get that ability, and basically anyone who's melee against you has a much tougher time of beating you. This, I feel like I don't see it that often. I don't see anyone go 4 spirit that often. Every once in a while I do it and it's fun. I love, one of my favorite units in the game is Dark Spirit. So if I can figure out a way to, pair that with what I'm doing, I just don't see a lot of times you're going 4 Spirit. And it's not super useful early on. I'm going to say this is E tier. It's not, I don't think about it as low as I think about Witcher or Kira, but I just don't think it's an important part of any build, really. Sorry, guys. Sorry, not sorry, right? We got to stop apologizing, guys. Okay. Let's see. Did I go through all the ones that I have symbols for? I think I did. There are others that I still want to talk about. Ooh, nope. I have a symbol for Divine. Let's talk about Divine. And maybe I missed another that I actually have a symbol for. This tier list doesn't have all the symbols. And even when I go, I can't find enough places to pull these from. I know I could do the laborious work of capturing all of them, making little screenshots, pulling them. I just didn't want to. If I'm being honest, I didn't want to do all that work. Okay, let's talk about Divine. Right now, the Divine synergy, I think, is a bit broken. And it's part of the best build in the game. And there are a lot of, Divinity is specifically what it's called. There are it's a part of a lot of great builds. It's a part of the best build in the meta right now. It can make certain units just nutty, really, really nutty. Let me read to you what it does. If you have 2 Divinity units, it reduces the ability cooldown by 45% for all the divinities, which, your God of War, your Zeus, your priest person, and that wizard sage guy. I don't know why I tried to name them all when I don't know it. It reduces their cooldowns by 45%. It's big. I mean, really, really big. It also reduces ally cooldowns by 45% if their race synergies are not triggered. So, if you've got a Warpwood Sage out there, for instance, he's that druid with the big club and he steals life from enemies. If you've got him out there and his racial synergy is not being triggered by having other feathered units out because his race is feathered, he gets a 45% cooldown to using his ability. And his ability triggers a lot because he's taking a lot of damage, so he's always got enough mana. If you have 4 divinities, it reduces ability cooldowns by 70% for the divinity units and units whose race synergies are not triggered. It's what turns him into an unstoppable killing machine. It also works great with a lot of mages. You know, you have Thunder Spirit out there who's got that spirit race. Oftentimes is not triggered. He just goes lightning, 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 lightning. I think it's really good right now. It's also broken. It's pretty situational, but it's pretty damn good. I don't want to put it S tier because I think it's about to get a nerf. Well, I mean, what am I talking about though? Like, I don't want to put it S tier because one day it will be bad. I mean, it makes so many builds click. There are just so many good ways to use it. I think it's overpowered. I'm going to say it's S tier. It's just so good. I could see someone be like, well, it's not S tier, blah, blah, blah. You're an idiot, Jake, which is all totally fine and true. It's just too good right now. It helps too many things work. It's the reason the best build in the meta is the best build in the meta. I think it's S tier. And if you want to see more about that, I do have a video showing that Warpwood Sage build. And you can see what it does. It's pretty nutty right now. Is that everyone that I have that I don't have a symbol for? That I do have a symbol for? Yeah, I think it is. No! These jerks that I can never say their name right. Egersis? Edgersis? Someone in the comments, if you've noticed me mispronouncing this wrong the whole time, please put it down there phonetically so I can try to get it right. Let me talk about what this is. All enemies, if you have 2 of them on the board, all enemies lose 4 armor. If you have 4 of them on the board, all enemies lose 8 armor. And if you have 6 of them on the board, all enemies lose 10 armor. And if an ally is killed by the enemies, it will continue to survive for 3.5 seconds. Pretty cool. So, what do I think about this? I think it pairs well with hunters. I think it's easy to trigger, so you kind of get it moving up. And I also feel like I'm never that thankful that I have it. I even forgot about it. I mean, let's be fair. I don't like it. I don't think it's E tier. It might be E tier. I think it's a little better. I'm going to put it D tier. I don't enjoy it. Now, I bet a lot of hunter players looking at this would go, oh man, he's wrong. He's wrong about hunters. He's wrong about feathered. He's wrong about Egersis. But I don't really find it that useful. It's specifically useful, paired with a hunter build or something like that. But in general, I don't find it to be super, super useful. For me, that's D tier. That's D tier, baby. What can I say? Let's talk about some of the ones that I do not have symbols for. And we can talk about them, and I'll put up like place markers for them, but I mean, it's going to look a little weird. So right now, this all makes sense. What we're looking at, which actually is over here. I'm like not good at Vanna Whiting this, but it's over there. And soon it's going to just be a mess when you look at it. So let's start talking. Where's my little dwarf? Let's talk about the dwarf race. There are only 2 dwarf units. There's the sniper and then there's the gyrocopter guy. If you have 1 dwarf on board, so you get it just when you put dwarf down. It's basically dwarf sniper just has this ability. When you have 1 dwarf down, it increases your attack range by 2 grids, and it targets the enemy with lowest HP first. This is why dwarf sniper is so good. He is just picking off units from the enemy team. It's why he is, a great carry for any hunter build. Really, really strong. If you have 2 dwarves, you get increases all allies ranged attack by 2 grids. So It can combo pretty well with a hunter build. Basically, anyone who's ranged can attack anyone in the map. And it makes people target the enemy with the lowest HP first. It can help you clear the board, especially with like these squishier pieces that you want to get rid of and then deal with the tanks later. It's really good. I don't think 2 dwarf is even close to as useful as 1 dwarf, and 1 dwarf is just dwarf sniper, basically. I mean, that's all you're really getting from it. In that sense, I feel like it's good when you have it, but it's just so incredibly situational that I have to put it at like a D tier or something like that. I don't want to be mean to it, but this guy kind of looks like a dwarf, so I'm just going to put him there for now. But remember, at this point, these symbols don't matter. It's whose line is it anyway? This tier list is all made up, and the symbols don't matter. Moving on to the next piece that I didn't get a chance to talk about. Ooh, Insectoid. Insectoid is pretty beastly, but it's also really, really specific. I have a video explaining Insectoid as well. If you see that synergy and just think, what is going on here? I'll just do a brief job explaining it. When you have 2 Insectoids and there are duplicate non-Insectoid pieces, so let's say you got 2 Insectoids and you got like 3 dwarf snipers. This would never happen. You've got 3 dwarf snipers on the board. When one of those dwarf snipers were to die, they would get turned into a random Insectoid piece based on whatever their cost was. It's pretty cool when it happens, but it's really specific. Really specific. I think there was a time when it was pretty strong in the meta, and right now it can be kind of strong and you can win around going Insectoid, but it's just so hyper specific. It's like, I don't think it builds super well. I think you have to kind of know that's the direction you're going or really just kind of fall into it. I have a video that I haven't put out yet where I really fall into Insectoids making sense. I like it, but I don't love it. If I were to put Insectoids somewhere, it would be at least C, or if not D. They're really good, but they're so specific. I don't know, maybe I'll put them C. And what looks kind of like an Insectoid? Maybe another beast symbol. Put this other beast symbol right here. That's Insectoid. I'll say they're C for now. They can be really, really good, but they're so situational, and you have to have such a specific build for them. Let's see, who else do we got here? Panda! Ooh, baby. Panda has to be getting a massive nerf very soon, possibly completely changing them. Pandas are fun, and pandas are crazy, and it's so crazy what they did to the meta, and they're just nutty, and they're so luck-based. When you have one panda, which is the only one you can find in the chest pool, by the way. I know some people are like, how do I find the other pandas? The only way to get them is through the panda synergy. The one panda, the Heaven Brew, when you put him on the board, at the beginning of each round, he has a 12% chance of recruiting another chess piece. It can be a panda piece, or it can be related to the race of any deployed piece. So if you've got a beast out there, maybe you find a beast. If you've got a goblin out there, maybe you find another goblin, etc. You also might find another panda. As you keep going up in pandas, there are 3 total pandas. They get better and better and better. When you have 2 pandas, you have a 25% chance of finding a piece. When you have 3 pandas, you have a 25% chance of finding a piece and an additional 50% chance of finding an extra panda. They just snowball so well. They give you free units. Ember Blade is super, super strong. I feel like, just like building up, just like going through the first few rounds, if you have a panda, put it down because you might get insanely lucky. Again, they're going to be going through a big nerf right now, but I don't know. I don't know what I would say about pandas except they're kind of broken and they have to be fixed, maybe even changed completely or removed. I'm going to say they're S tier. Now, here's the other thing. I've played around with a panda. I've played around with a panda. I've played a match. I've played matches with pandas where I don't get the units I'm looking for, and they're not good. So they're so like up and down, but I actually find more often than not they kind of give you you get such good stuff. I just had a round recently where I think literally round 3 they gave me a Venomancer. And I just thought, this is stupid. This is so stupid. I think they're S tier. I really do. I think they're that good, and I think they need to be nerfed because of it. Let's talk about what's next. Priest. Priest. High Priest. Oh, High Priest. Man, life is fun that way. When you have one priest on the board and you lose to an opponent and you get more than 2 damage from that opponent, it blocks 20% of the damage. When you have 2 priests on the board and you receive more than 2 damage, it blocks 20%. And if the chess player receives more than 8, you get a green essence. Priest sucks. But it's cool. It's fine. It's cool to have it. It's cool to block some damage and stuff like that. You would just never build for it. What would you want 2 priests around just so you could get a green essence so you could... Because you'd have to lose the round. Priest sucks. Priest F tier. It's not... It's like, cool. Hey, cool. It's there. Oh, I lost a round. That protected me a little bit. But it's not very useful. I'm going to represent them with this little glacier face. I think it's F tier. It's just not something I ever think about, you know? It's nice, but I never consider, oh, thank you, priest. Wizard. Let's talk about Wizard. Hey, you know what? Let's talk about Martialist first, because I have more to say about Wizard and Martialist. There's only one Martialist unit. It's the Heaven Brew Panda Man. This is another one where it's like, I'm not saying it's bad, but there's literally no way to think about it much. When an allied Martialist is attacked, so another Heaven Brew Panda, 30% of the non-pure damage received will be turned into pure damage and equally shared by allies as the same race of the Martialist, which would be other pandas. So you could keep pandas around longer, spreading this damage out like this. I'm not saying it's even just the worst, but you can't even consider it because there's only one unit that has it. It's either you have pandas or you don't have pandas. You're not trying to get them for this class bonus. I think it kind of looks like these assassin. No, it looks like fists. Kind of looks like this little fist. I'm just going to say it's F tier. Who cares? You don't care about it. You don't think about it. So for me, that's an F, baby. If I'm not even thinking about you, you're an F. Let's talk about wizards. Wizards. Come here, you little wizard. I want to read it exactly. There are like 3 wizards in the game, right? 3 or 4. When you have 2 wizards, which is probably what you're going to do, they're really useful when you have 2 wizards. You need 1 less chess piece to activate a synergy with at least 4 pieces. What does that look like? Well, this is how you get 6 mech. This is how you get 6 cave shaman. This is an easy way to get 6 goblin when you haven't found all the goblins you need. Basically, they help put together tons of different synergies. I think wizards are really, really good. Extremely useful in tons of different builds. They're part of the top meta build right now. They make so many things click. I really like wizards. Once you get the hang of what they're doing and you can go, oh yeah, now I only need 3 glacials to glacier units to make that 4 glacial synergy, and I only need 5 mages to make my 6 mage synergy. I only need 5 cave clan to make my 6. I think they're insanely good. They're not something that you can build your entire build around. Boy, I even searched for a better word and I never got there. But I do think that they are super strong pairing with a lot of builds out there. They help you complete some of the tougher builds to complete. I think they're really great. They're either A or B tier for me. Maybe B tier because, again, you can't make a specific wizard. I think they're A tier. That's kind of where I'm putting them. I think they're really good. What looks like a wizard to me? Well, it's another book. I'll put them up here at A tier. I just think they're that good. They're that useful. Again, you can't use them on their own, so maybe I'd move this down to B. But that's where I'd put them. A tier. Did I talk about everyone? I think I did. I think we did it, guys. I think we had a very long, very nerdy discussion about something that could change within days or hours based on whenever they patch. But this is now my current tier list, and just in my opinion, and again, not top tier or whatever, but this is just how I see a lot of the units in the game. And yes, I didn't have all the right symbols. The list now looks like a mess, but I think we had a lot of fun going through it. Let me know what you think. I genuinely want to hear if you're like, you have no idea. Hunter should be way higher. You are so wrong. Goblin should be way lower. Tell me what you think in the comments. I really appreciate all the interaction. It's been so nice seeing so many people check out these videos. I hope this was helpful. Thank you all. I'll see you next time. Mwah!